It's 11 p.m. You're lying in bed, and your brain decides, out of nowhere, to replay something you said 3 years ago. Not a big thing, a small thing, a joke that landed wrong, a pause that felt too long, a text you sent that got left unread. Your chest tightens, your face gets hot. You cringe, alone, in the dark, over something nobody else even remembers. It doesn't stop at one memory either. One cringe pulls up another, and that one pulls up a third, until you're lying there scrolling through a highlight reel of your own worst moments, each one just as vivid as the day it happened. None of them changed by a single second of the years in between. You call this overthinking. You call it anxiety. You call it being too sensitive. But the real answer is far stranger. What you're experiencing isn't a glitch. It isn't your brain malfunctioning. It's a system working exactly as designed. A system so old it predates language, predates agriculture, predates almost everything you'd call human civilization. You are running software built for a world that no longer exists. Here's the strange part. That system was never built to make you feel good. It was built to keep you alive. And for most of human history, the two were the same thing. Go back 100,000 years. You are not an individual with a bank account and a lock on your door. You are a member of a band of maybe 30 people. That band is your food, your protection, your warmth at night, your defense against predators. Outside the band, there is no surviving alone for long. Not for weeks, sometimes not for days. So, the worst thing that could happen to you wasn't failure. It wasn't embarrassment in the way you think of it now. It was exclusion. If the group decided you were a liability, a cheat, someone who couldn't be trusted, they didn't need to attack you. They just needed to stop sharing. Stop including you in the hunt. Stop passing you food when it was scarce. And in that world, quiet exclusion was a death sentence with no announcement. Picture it concretely. You're at the fire. Someone tells a story about you, a small one, exaggerated the way stories get exaggerated. A few people laugh a beat too long. Nobody says anything to your face. But the next morning, you notice you weren't asked to join the hunting party. Nobody explains why. Nobody has to. The message travels through silence, through who sits where, through who shares food with who. There is no trial. There is no appeal. There is only the slow, quiet math of being needed less. Your brain knew this, and it built an alarm system for it. Psychologist Mark Leary spent years studying this exact mechanism. He called it the sociometer, a kind of internal gauge constantly measuring one thing. How much does the group value me right now? Not your income. Not your achievements, just this. Am I still wanted here? When that gauge drops, even slightly, you feel it instantly. A sting, a flush of heat, a replaying loop in your mind that will not let go. Leary's research found that this reaction isn't optional. You don't choose to care what the group thinks of you, any more than you choose to feel pain when you touch fire. It's automatic. It's older than your ability to reason your way out of it. So, that memory at 11 p.m., the joke that landed wrong 3 years ago, your brain isn't torturing you for no reason. It's running a threat scan. It's asking, did that moment cost me my place in the group? And because the scan runs faster than logic, it doesn't care that the moment is over. It doesn't care that nobody else remembers. The ancient part of your brain treats every awkward memory like it's still live, like the tribe might still be deciding your fate. Here's where it gets stranger. You'd think this alarm system would only fire when something is actually happening. A real conflict, a real rejection. But researcher Roy Baumeister found something different when he studied guilt and self-punishment. He found that people don't just react to punishment from others. They punish themselves privately, even when no one is watching, even when no one would ever find out. Think about the last time you did something a little bit wrong and nobody caught it. Maybe you snapped at someone you love over nothing. Maybe you took credit for something that wasn't fully yours. Nobody confronted you. Nobody even knew. And yet you sat with it anyway, replaying it, feeling the weight of it in your chest for hours, sometimes days. Baumeister's work suggests this isn't wasted suffering. It's a rehearsal. Your mind is running the punishment the tribe would have handed down, privately, in advance, as if practicing for a verdict that will never actually be delivered by anyone but you. Why would evolution build that? Why waste energy attacking yourself when nobody's around to see it? Because self-punishment used to serve a function. In a small tribal group, you couldn't hide your mistakes for long. Everyone saw everything. So the brain developed a shortcut. Punish yourself first, internally, before the group has to. Feel the guilt, feel the shame, feel the cringe, and let that discomfort push you to fix the behavior before it costs you your standing. It's an early warning system, a way of prepaying a social debt before it's collected by force. The problem is, you don't live in a tribe of 30 anymore. You live in a world of strangers, screens, and social feeds with thousands of potential judges, but your alarm system doesn't know the difference. It still treats a bad text message like it might get you kicked out of the only group keeping you alive. It still treats a slightly awkward laugh at a party like it's being logged into a permanent tribal record. That's why the memory replays. That's why you cringe at something that happened years ago, to people who have long since forgotten it. Your brain isn't broken. It's just still guarding a village that stopped existing thousands of years before you were born. Watch what this looks like in an ordinary day. You send a message, then you check it again in 5 minutes, then again in 20, not because you're waiting for information, you're waiting for a verdict. Every unanswered text becomes a tiny tribal court, and you are the defendant, refreshing the docket to see if you've been exiled yet. You post something online. The likes come in slower than usual. Nothing is actually wrong, but your body doesn't know that. It reads a quiet feed the same way an ancestor would have read a quiet camp. Something's off. Am I still one of them? You replay a conversation from a meeting that ended hours ago, dissecting one sentence you said, certain everyone noticed, certain it meant something. Almost never does anyone else remember it at all. Their alarm system was busy running its own scan, on its own perceived mistake, at the exact same moment yours was running on you. This is the strange loop most people miss. Everyone is quietly convinced they're the one being watched and judged, while everyone around them is running the identical program, worried about being watched and judged themselves. The tribe you're so afraid of disappointing is made up entirely of people equally afraid of disappointing you. This is where most people get stuck. They assume the fix is to silence the alarm, to numb it, to argue with themselves until the shame goes quiet. Some try to outlogic it, listing reasons why the memory doesn't matter, why nobody actually cares, why it was 3 years ago and everyone involved has moved on. It rarely works for long. You can win the argument in your head and still feel the exact same heat in your chest 5 minutes later, because the alarm was never a debate to be won. It's a reflex, not a conclusion. But researcher Kristin Neff, who spent her career studying self-compassion, found the opposite works better. Fighting the alarm doesn't turn it off. It just adds a second layer of threat on top of the first one. Now you're not just afraid of what the group thinks, you're afraid of your own reaction to being afraid. Neff's research points somewhere else entirely. Instead of treating the internal alarm like an enemy to defeat, you treat it like exactly what it is: outdated information. A signal built for a world of 30 people who could banish you by sunset, misapplied to a world where a single awkward text has zero actual bearing on your survival. You don't need to silence the alarm. You need to update what it's protecting you from. Notice too what this reframe does to the people around you. If your own harshest verdicts are just an old alarm misfiring, then so are theirs. The friend who went quiet after your joke probably wasn't judging you. Their own sociometer was likely running a scan on something they said 5 minutes earlier, something you never even noticed. Almost nobody in the room is free of this. Everyone is quietly serving the same ancient sentence, replaying their own version of your 11 p.m. memory, in their own bed, on their own night. That doesn't make the discomfort meaningless. It makes it explainable. And explainable is different from justified. You can understand exactly why the alarm fires and still decide, deliberately, that this particular firing doesn't deserve your attention tonight. Think about what that means for the next time your brain drags up an old memory at 11 p.m. It's not punishing you for being flawed. It's running a program written by ancestors who never had the luxury of being forgotten. a program that once meant the difference between staying fed and starving alone. You get to be the first generation in that long chain who actually knows what the alarm is for. That doesn't mean the sting goes away instantly. The wiring is old, and old wiring doesn't update itself just because you understand it. But something does shift the moment you see it clearly. The cringe stops feeling like proof that something is wrong with you. It starts feeling like an echo, a very old, very loud echo, going off in a village that isn't there anymore. So tonight, when it's 11 p.m. again, and your brain reaches back 3 years to replay something small, you won't have to ask what's wrong with you. You'll know exactly what's happening. A 30-person tribe that vanished 10,000 years ago is still, somehow, taking attendance. And you, quietly, get to be the one who finally tells it the head count is over.